Hi everyone, Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections and Curator here at the Buffalo Naval Park. And today we think we have a really cool video for you. And it's kind of a comparison video. We've already done one with the USS New Jersey, we've done one with the USS Slater, but this is going to be a different, more unique comparison spotlight video. So behind me here is USS The Sullivans, our venerable Fletcher class destroyer, DD-537, and we are actually going to be comparing her with the USS Johnston. So fairly recently the USS Johnston was located. It's almost a twice location. She was located in 2019 and they really weren't sure if it was the USS Johnston or the USS Hull. And then again in 2020 it was confirmed that the Johnston was located, DD-557. So we've seen the videos of the wreckage on the ocean floor, and we are going to walk to the spaces on USS The Sullivans where we think that those spaces are that are lying in wreckage on the ocean floor. In part of the video that we see from the Petrel,
right,
we think that most of the Petrel video is midships aft.
right.
There's
That's
another.
why it's so devastated.
Yes, because it split. That's probably where most. There was a big fire on the bridge, right? And the documentation shows that there was a fire on the bridge, and that's why, you know, Commander Evans had a couple fingers blown off,
Yeah.
and there was a fire. But most of that in the video for the Petrel,
The wreckage.
the wreckage is aft, midships aft.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be looking for. USS The Sullivans has been converted, but we will look at the two aft 5-inch gun mounts, 54 and 55. We'll take a look at aft steering.
Yes.
We are now in the 5-inch handling room, and in the video, unfortunately, this is on the bottom. So those teeth are in the Petrel video. Unfortunately, the gun mount is rotated and it's bottom up on the bottom of the ocean. But that is one of the 5-inch gun mounts, either 53, 54, or 55, that is sitting on the bottom in the Petrel video.
The bow looks intact with the 5-inch guns trained to the starboard.
Yeah.
And you see that the bridge is intact, and it's an open bridge. So unlike the Sullivans, which was converted, as Shane mentioned, and the bridge was enclosed, the Johnston, and of course all the ships of her age before conversion that survived the war, that whole bridge walking area was
the round bridge.
The round bridge was covered, so you could go out there in a storm and not have your face full of rain and wind and snow.
So another part of the video where the guys from Petrel talk about a V-shaped deck, and they say that's the only part of the deck that we recognize, right? So there's bits there, there's a closed chalk there, and what we're seeing is these two things right here. So we have the bits, and we have the closed chalk, and what you see in the video is that it's folded on each other into a serious V shape. Now that 185 stands for the frame number. So again, like the ribs of a ship, the frames go from port to starboard, and so that's the 185th frame from the bow of the ship. There's also one we're on port, there's also one on starboard, and so that, where you see the horizontal decking, the main deck.
Without knowing what the damage to the ship was, as the ship sank, the ship was buttoned up for damage control purposes. A lot of the damage might not have been from gunfire alone that you see with the stern on the bottom. As the ship got deeper and deeper, well, a bubble of air could build in the back end underneath. And so as she got deeper, of course, at a certain point you get to crush depth. Just like with a submarine, you can only go so deep before the pressure will literally implode the hull. And that's what could have happened back here. That's why it's so obliterated. So as she got deeper and deeper, and now the steel is being compressed, eventually the built-up air pressure inside couldn't sustain, and it blew open. That's why a lot of these space, if you look at some of the video, it looks like the deck literally folded, and a lot of it is upside down. Where you see like the bow when they found it later is still intact. You have the two guns up forward, you see the bridge, the whole thing, because that's the knife edge, and as she's sinking, all the air is escaping. Where in the stern, the air is building, the pressure's building until it just can't sustain itself.
That's what we're seeing in the video. So those are serious baffles.
Yes. And this whole compartment goes all the way around the stern of the ship to the starboard side. We're on the port side. To the starboard side, there's a matching hatch here, and the compartments, if you were small enough, you could crawl through these holes around the stern to the transom, which is the back of the ship, and then come up the other side and come out the other hatch. So this is all connected. That's why you see, you know, there was a misidentification that, oh, these were portholes. These were not portholes. These are access holes, but they're lightning holes. And I mean, not lightning like a flashlight light. It's lightning in terms of removing some of the steel. You make a circle or an oval, and that whole plate is stronger with that hole in there, and it's also lighter than having a solid plate. So that's what we call them, is lightning holes, because it lightens the ship, it lightens the plate.
They're open on the bow. We should.
Yeah, we can do that. It gives you a little bit better of an idea.
Need to find a new windshield
you see the barrels,
off a car
how long they are.
Yes,
It's 15 feet, and so you don't get the perspective like with the gun turrets cracked open like eggs, and the gun barrel sticking out. The gun barrel, like I say, from the breech to the tip is 15 feet. You just don't get the scale of how big these vessels were, and certainly flipped upside down, it looks like a toy that some kid threw away. There's no toy, and it's a tragic loss.
So there's plenty on the video that show the 3 gun mounts from the midships aft, right? Mount 53, Mount 54, and Mount 55, which is what we're under right now and what you're looking at. So there's various debris and wreckage of the interior of the gun mounts, the casing of the gun mount, the windows that and observations that Senior Chief John Branning was just mentioning, but also the blast shields. They talk about the blast shields quite a bit. And so if you take a look, and that was to protect the local gun director from the blast, from the other weapons behind and above it.
And that gives you a good perspective. You can't imagine standing your head out of there and have that other 5-inch gun go off over your head. It'd blow your ears out.
That's right. But they said in the video that they could not find, in wartime photographs of the Johnston, they could not find blast shields in the photographs.
But that doesn't mean anything.
That could have been just production videos where they hadn't put them on or they hadn't mounted them yet. But obviously in the video you can see them very clearly. Yeah, I know. There it is right there. Whoa! Not me, I didn't realize that. So let's zoom it in, and you're zooming right at Mount 53 with that lifeline and the catwalk, or the stanchion going down and the catwalk. So after the torpedo tubes, one of the things that Petrel sees is Mount 53 right here, and then they show the catwalk with the stanchion, all right, holding it up, and that, as you can see, led to the torpedoes, right, on the 01 level. So again, everything midships aft was blown apart during the ship sinking, and so you had those two though. Boom. Am I right? Okay. So you had those two though, Mount 53 and the catwalk lying next to each other.
And upside down.
And upside down.
That's why the stanchions
Yep.
on the other
Sticking
side.
out. Yes. So what we, in the late 40s, our Mount 53 was removed to add more radar. And so we do not have Mount 53 right now. And the catwalk has been changed because they removed the torpedoes in that quintuple form, and now we have a triple on both port and starboard for torpedoes. But a lot of the Fletchers had that quintuple torpedo mount. And so that catwalk led to the torpedo tubes from Mount 53, and we can show you where that area is on our on USS The Sullivans, but she won't look like that. So when you just looked at the model, this is the area, Mount 53, which again has been removed for more adaptable radar. And we still have a catwalk, right? But this is where Mount 53 would have been, the catwalk forward leading to the quintuple torpedo tubes. In the early 50s, this was converted and they removed the Mount 53 gun mount. Thanks for checking out our video today, and I hope you learned a little bit about the USS Johnston, potentially some of the reasons why she sank, and you'll certainly learn a little about USS The Sullivans DD-537. So please subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, ring that bell, and we'll see you again soon.